This familiar village tale, often dismissed as mere folklore, takes on a striking semblance of truth. Indeed, life is full of surprises. Grandpa Matvey, unable to reach the village before nightfall, decided to camp in the Taiga, a familiar choice for him. Containing all the essentials, including a can of stew and a bag of buckwheat groats. Tied to the backpack was a pot with a clinking spoon inside, rattling while he walked, to alert animals of his presence. In the summer forest, none of the forest dwellers would attack a person as long as he warned them of his presence in advance. Grandpa Matvey found a clearing near a small forest stream overgrown with strawberries, the water clear and cheerfully flowing over small stones, tinkling and splashing. Quickly gathering firewood, he also dragged 3 healthy dry logs closer to the campfire. The logs would slowly smolder, warming the night air in the clearing, while the smoke kept the mosquitoes away. Soon, Grandpa Matvey cooked the porridge, mixing it with the stew and eating half, saving the rest for the morning. After washing the pot in the stream, he filled it with water and placed it on the fire to boil, adding some wild strawberry leaves for flavor. As darkness fell, a branch snapped behind Grandpa Matvey, alerting him to someone creeping up behind him. It wasn't the step of an animal, only a person could move like that. "Hey, who's there?" called out Grandpa Matvey into the darkness. A human figure emerged from behind the trees. "It's me, Igor Ivanov, from the village of Koskovo. Can I come and warm myself by your fire?" A voice came from the darkness. "Come, warm yourself," said Grandpa Matvey, not showing how surprised he was by the sudden appearance of a person in such a remote place. A short peasant approached the fire, sat down next to Grandpa, and stared at the flames. "Have some porridge if you want," offered Grandpa Matvey. "No, I don't want porridge, but I wouldn't mind some hot water," replied the peasant. "Then take a mug and scoop some tea from the pot. To your health," said Grandpa Matvey. The peasant took the mug, scooped some forest tea, and sighed. "Why are you wandering alone out here?" Grandpa Matvey asked. "I got lost at first, and when I figured out where to go, I realized I lost my gun in the panic. Now I'm searching," the peasant replied, sighing again. Grandpa Matvey looked closely at his guest. Igor's clothes were quite worn out and torn in several places. Traces of dried blood or something very similar stained his sleeve and shoulder. "Are you planning to go home tomorrow?" asked Grandpa Matvey, lighting his pipe. "I won't go until I find my gun," Igor replied quietly. "Well, it's your business, but we could have gone together in the morning," said Grandpa. Enjoying the smoke of his homegrown tobacco, the grandpa shrugged, tossed some branches into the fire, and pushed the charred log towards the center of the campfire. Then he settled himself more comfortably on the bed of spruce branches, using his backpack as a pillow and stretching out his legs. "Thanks for the tea, Grandpa. I'll be off," said Igor. "But where will you go in the night?" Grandpa Matvey was surprised. "I have a place to stay, and I need to search for my gun." Igor suddenly bustled and placed the cup with untouched tea on the ground. "Well, friend, as you wish." Grandpa Matvey shook his head. "Thank you, Grandpa," said Igor, bowed, and disappeared into the darkness of the forest. Grandpa Matvey spent the night peacefully, woke up in the morning, stretched his bones, went down to the stream, and washed up. Returning to the campsite, he finished yesterday's porridge and, looking at the full cup of forest tea, scratched his head in puzzlement. He carefully checked the campfire for any remaining embers, stacked the remaining firewood and logs neatly by the tree, just in case someone else might need them. By evening, tired and hungry, he returned home with a basket full of mushrooms. 2 months later, Grandpa Matvey had to pass by the village of Koskovo. That's when he remembered the strange encounter in the night taiga with Igor Ivanov. "And where does Igor Ivanov live?" he asked the locals. "Igor Ivanov?" The villagers were surprised. "He's been dead for about 5 years now. A bear got him while he was hunting." "How's that?" Grandpa Matvey exclaimed. "Well, Igor shot at the bear when it came at him," shrugged the villagers. "He only wounded it, and the bear went berserk with pain from the wound. Igor panicked and ran," said the village boys. "He should have finished it off with a second shot," Grandpa Matvey interjected. He dropped his gun, got flustered, and ran, but the bear caught up with him from behind, grabbed him by the shoulder with its teeth, then by the head. The villagers continued their story. When the boys ran to his cry, it was already too late, concluded the village boys. Grandpa Matvey shuddered at such a tale. He didn't tell anyone how he met Igor in the Taiga, afraid they wouldn't believe him or would misunderstand. Now this nocturnal encounter even slightly frightened Grandpa Matvey. What was it? A hallucination? A ghost? The Taiga sure knows how to present surprises, thought Grandpa Matvey. The following year, Grandpa Matvey found Igor's gun lying at the bottom of the same stream where he had camped that night. He retrieved the gun, cleaned it of deposits, mud and rust, and placed it near the campfire, hoping that Igor would appear again at night. However, as soon as it got dark, Grandpa Matvey fell into a deep sleep by the warm fire and only woke up in the morning. The gun was no longer by the fire. What's with this clearing? What a strange place, Grandpa Matvey thought, unable to find answers to his questions. He decided not to return to this place anymore.